Welcome back. Well, President Trump touting his immigration policies during his speech at CPAC. Take a listen.
We are getting the bad ones out. These are bad dudes. We're getting the bad ones out. Whether it's drugs or murder or other things, we're getting bad ones out. Those are the ones that go first, and I said it from day one. Basically, all I've done is keep my promise.
But some members of the religious community, they don't like that plan and are creating an underground sanctuary to hide them. So is it unchristian to do otherwise? Here to debate is founder and president of STAND, Bishop E.W. Jackson, and the vicar of communications for the Brooklyn Diocese, Father Kieran Harrington. Good morning to both of you. Thank you for being here.
Great to be here.
All right, Bishop, I'll start with you. What is the answer? Because, you have people that are saying, I want to stay in this country. I'm afraid I might be deported. I'm going to go to a church. I feel like that is at least one place that I will be safe. And people on the other side of this are saying, well, if you take them out of a church, that's just unchristian of you. How do you respond to that?
Well, the Bible makes very clear, Abby, that anyone who does not care for his own has denied the faith and is worse than an infidel. I understand compassion because Christians, of course, have it. But our first moral and Christian responsibility is to our own families, our own communities, our own country. And if we're endangering innocent people, then we're not doing the Christian thing, we're doing the wrong thing.
We've got to protect ourselves first. Father Harrington,
Absolutely.
What is your response to that?
Well, Jesus makes it very clear, if you love those who love you, how does that differ you? How are you different from the pagans? The fact of the matter is that as Christians, we're called to reach out to those who are the stranger in our midst. The scriptures are throughout the scriptures, whether the Old Testament or the New Testament, are very clear about the responsibilities of people of faith to the alien in their midst. Now, listen, there's a big difference between somebody who has moral turpitude when they've committed a crime. In other words, someone who's raped somebody or someone who has killed somebody versus somebody who's violated the law by driving without a license. I think there are different categories, and that's what people of faith are concerned about.
Well, and that's what President Trump is saying, though, Bishop. He's saying, what I'm doing is getting out the bad people. I'm just following through with many of the laws that have already been on the books. You compare that to presidents before, and President Obama often called the deporter-in-chief. About 3 million people got out of this country. President Bush, about 2 million of them. Clinton, nearly 900,000. Yet it seems like this is the first time many in the media are even reporting about this.
Abby, there are hundreds of Americans, hundreds of families, maybe thousands across this nation who have lost loved ones because somebody was trying to protect an illegal immigrant. Somebody was trying to defend bringing in refugees. They've not done anything wrong until somebody dies at the hands of a drunk driver, until somebody's murdered in the street. Look, it's hard to know the difference. Can I finish? Let me finish. Let me finish. It is very difficult to know the difference, and one thing I would suggest to the Monsignor and to every Christian out there, obey the law.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you don't have to make the distinction.
Bishop, here's the thing. I absolutely agree with you, obey the law. But here's the fact is in our country, there's been a lot of gun violence. Does that mean we say, let's stop selling any guns? Of course we don't say that. So the fact is, let's have a reasonable reaction. No one here is criticizing the requirements of the government, in fact, the responsibility of the government to protect its citizens. At the same time, as a person of faith, my responsibility is to respond to somebody who's in need. And that means that if someone is in need of a glass of water, someone's in need of clothing, someone's in need of shelter, that's my responsibility. That's yours as well.
So if a murderer needs a glass of water, bring him into my home among my wife and children.
I didn't say
Monsignor,
that.
we've got to use well, that's what you're suggesting. We've got to use some common sense.
I do want to get back though to the church being a safe place to be. And just last word here, Father, if someone is here illegally, if they've committed a crime, shouldn't there be no place that is safe in this country for them to be? Do you agree with that?
No, I mean, here's the thing. One of my favorite plays is Les Miserables. And if you think about the bishop in Les Miserables, Jean Valjean comes to him. He is an ex-con. He's broken the law. He's violated parole. And what does the bishop do? He welcomes him to his house, and he treats him as a human being. And as a result of treating him as a human being, that man goes on to transform the world. I mean, that's Victor Hugo's sense. That's the scriptural sense. I think that's our responsibility as Christians.
Yeah, at a
certain point, yourself at risk, but don't put our families and don't put our communities and don't put our country at risk. Nobody has the right to do that.
Yeah, you got to draw the line somewhere. Bishop Jackson and Father Harrington, thank you both for being with us this morning. The debate will, of course, continue. Appreciate that.